students are gone, but you are still here. And we know how you feel because you are done. But you have so much work to do to get ready for tomorrow. Good afternoon, podcast listeners everywhere. Welcome to After the Bell, a Stunt Brothers production. A podcast that gets inside the life of a teacher and provides a wellness guide for being prepared to take on this most challenging of professions. I'm Martin Stuvel.
And I'm Roy Hunt. And we share your pain, having taught a combined 70 years. The guarantee of this podcast is to make you laugh, make you think, and give you at least one little nugget that you can use in the classroom. So get out your marking, organize your supplies, or just pour yourself a coffee.
I want something stronger.
And listen, engage, and interact with After the Bell, a podcast for you, the hard-working, dedicated teacher who wants free lesson plans, free advice, and a free meal.
Okay, Roy, but I'm not paying for anything more than McDonald's.
All right, so here we are, episode 42, season 2, episode 12.
Yeah.
How about that? So, I'm taking things over here right now because you just seem to be a little subdued.
Well, I am. I'm exhausted.
And why is that?
We are almost an hour and a half into our studio time here, and we've just started to record because we just dealt with technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, yes.
They got to the point I had to go to my technical advisor, my son, who's just amazing, who had to take control of my computer in the middle of his workday.
Shout out to Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua. Your money will be forwarded to you from our vast wealth, vast profits from our podcast.
Yes. So he things were not working. Things were not looking good. And we were thinking probably about half an hour ago that there would not be an episode this week. But he came to the rescue and was able to gain access to my laptop here through the wonders of the internet and figure out what was going on. It mystified him too. So it wasn't just us being confused.
Well, it is pretty amazing because without his assistance, we would not be in this conversation right now.
No, we wouldn't.
We would have not started our podcast. And that's the beauty, or the double-edged sword of technology. It's great when it works,
right?
And then when it doesn't, it cuts like a knife.
Like how often have you had that presentation or you've been at a presentation and they're all ready with their PowerPoint and their screen all ready, and then there's a glitch.
Yes.
And then everyone looks at everyone.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, if you have a good presentation, you should be able to hopefully do it without that.
Yes. And then that's with adults in the room.
Yeah.
And they break into conversations.
Yes.
But what about 27 students in the classroom, and you're trying to figure it out? And they start shouting things like whatever comes to the top of their head, reboot it, restart it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a glitch. And they love using the word glitch. And so many of them have no idea.
The chalk always worked.
Yes.
Right.
Until you ran out.
Right, yeah. And there's always a big box more. Different color maybe, right? So yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm got to get my energy going. I was all ready to go an hour and a half ago. And now that drained me because, you're on. The sound went out, and then he's controlling the screen, and it was a challenge.
Yeah.
Almost on par with teaching.
But it wears you down.
It does wear you down.
It does wear you down.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
I know we had talked about maybe tomorrow. We often go on a bike ride.
Yes.
And we were going to go for a cycle ride.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm excited about it.
I don't know if I'm ready to do that.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm primed. I think but even before this technical problem came along today, I was feeling that something's coming into the back of my throat. I feel a little bit like I'm getting under the weather, and that maybe I should take a rain check, and maybe we'll go another day.
Oh, well, I don't. I'm going anyways.
Okay.
And I'm
good on you. You're way to go. You're a trooper.
I want to know who are you sending
What do you
in
mean?
your place?
What do you mean? I'm not going.
Well, yes, you are. Well, you're not going. You just told me that, but you have to find a suitable replacement.
I have to find a
Yes.
replacement.
And that person will be riding your bike.
They're going to ride my bike.
Yes, because
I
have an e-bike, you have an e-bike.
Yeah.
The other person, the last thing I
What do you-
want
what do you-
is that person to bring like a touring bike or something and shoot ahead of me.
Roy, what
Right?
are you talking about? I told you, I think I'm under the weather. I'm a little
That's
bit
okay. You'll just
mentally exhausted from this,
send
and I
someone.
think maybe I won't
Great.
be able to make it.
So just give them your bike,
I'm gonna
and
give
then
some
and you make
person-
sure you tell them how to charge
Who
the battery.
who am I going to give this?
I
to?
don't know.
Well,
That's not my job.
I have to find a replacement.
Yes, you do.
I have to find a replacement
yes,
for this.
You do, and then you have to and then explain that the tires have to be inflated to a certain pressure. So explain the PSI.
Yeah,
that
there's
has to go
some.
in
I was going to do some work tomorrow
There you
morning.
go.
There's a bit of an
Good.
oil I have to add to it. There's some tire pressure issues,
and it's your
I
turn.
have to charge it up. What do you?
Your turn to buy lunch. So
Okay.
then I get to choose where we eat because that's what we do. And then you pay for it. So this person, whoever
You're
this
getting this
person
free
is,
lunch from
no,
whoever
it's
it
not
is.
a free lunch because I buy you lunch all the time
Okay.
too.
Uh-huh.
So it's your turn. So all you need to do is give the person some cash, or you can give them a credit card. It's okay. I mean, obviously that way.
This is absurd.
Okay. Well, no, it's not.
I mean-
and then the next thing is you need to inform this person about the topics that we talk about. Right?
We talk of you know what we get into.
Sometimes we talk about politics, but sometimes we talk about the podcast, but you also have to tell them about my triggers, right? About the things
There's
that
a lot of triggers.
can't be talked about.
How many triggers
Right.
you have?
Well,
how many things that I just?
and you're like. And you have no triggers?
No,
Oh my gosh! I could
I'm
go
Mr.
through a laundry list.
I'm Mr.
of
Zen
Martin
Buddhist.
Stubble triggers.
I'm Mr. Zen Buddhist.
So, I believe
Okay.
that. So
I have
tomorrow,
to.
I'm still going because the weather's going to be amazing.
So let me get this straight. Okay, so I tell you that maybe I'm under the weather.
Yeah.
I need a mental health day. I feel cold coming on. I got to take the day off tomorrow. And you now tell me that it's going to happen anyway, this bike ride.
Yes.
And that I have to find the replacement.
Yes.
I have to write out what the day looks like.
You don't have to write it out. You just have to somehow
I'm gonna
convey it to the person who I deem as worthy.
Do they need to know the route where we're going to go? Or are you just going to
that
tell
would be
them?
nice. That would be nice. But I mean, we're going out Ambleside Way anyways because we're eating lunch somewhere in West Van.
Okay, but they're paying for it.
Well, you are, but they're going to pay for it with
Right.
your money.
And then I have to write down discussion topics.
But
which ones to
I'm
avoid?
pretty open about the discussion topics. It's just those things that we can't talk about. The things that really,
Listeners, my mouth is
my
on
trigger.
the ground. I just okay. I'll just go anyway. I'll just go then.
Well,
I'll just go on the bike
Well,
ride.
what good will you be?
well,
I mean,
but what you're asking me-
you're feeling sick. You say you're under the
Yes.
weather.
Yeah.
So with that, do I want to be around you when you're like maybe some virus or something that you have?
But you're asking me, we're going to finish this podcast. I'm going to go home, and it's probably going to take me almost as long as the bike ride to now get ready for someone else to go on the bike ride with you. That's what I hear you saying to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you understand the expectations for our trip for tomorrow.
I just don't know what to say. It kind of reminds me of maybe what it's like for a teacher.
For a teacher. So I guess in that I
think you're teaching me a lesson here.
We're not very subtle. I mean, I think people are already jumped in on it, but I think we have the topic for today's episode.
I think we do.
And we do. And today's episode is Too Sick to Teach: The Hidden Challenge of Taking a Day Off.
Okay. Let's get into this a little further. When you hear that nugget sound, I just need a few moments to recuperate. Okay. And there is the nugget sound.
And what does that sound like? Is that like a gold bar dropping down on concrete and going, "Gwing"?
It sounds like it's taking me out of my misery of planning for my cycle ride tomorrow. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
I told you, I'm just going. It's just too much work. I'm just going.
Right.
I'm just going to go.
So
I won't look in your direction, so you don't get my virus.
So in this nugget,
Yes.
what the nugget is the takeaway. It's something that you can use in your classroom or in your practice to help you as a teacher.
Yeah, and what we're talking about are sick days.
Yes.
And how hard it is really for teachers to take sick days, because sick days has become such a political issue often in boards, and it's often there's a lot of pressure. Oh, this is a cost to the district, right?
Right. I mean, we as part of our contract here in North Vancouver, is it in BC the same number of days?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's
So
it's a
get
provincial agreement.
15 sick days a year.
Yeah.
And if you don't use them, they accumulate.
And I'm sure a lot of listeners of other parts don't have such
and
option.
and it's tough to think that there are people out there who do not have access to sick days.
And the whole point of the accumulation is that you don't want to have to use them, but you may get some long-term illness. You don't know what's down the road. It's an insurance plan. But teachers feel pressure sometimes that they're taking too many. But they're not. They're because it's so hard. We jokingly talked about the bike ride.
Yes.
But it's kind of like that, right? Where you have to go in the next day and you're going, the amount of work it takes to plan, I'll just go in.
Anyways, from I'm going to say a time allotment from 1 hour to 2 hours to plan something. And then you're contacting other teachers involved, especially, if you have your knit teachers, then you're hoping that you will get someone to come into your classroom as a substitute teacher or we call it TOC, a TTOC.
And lately there's been a shortage. So often then they pull someone from the library or the LAC or another area to come in, right? So that means those students lose those services. So you then feel pressure that you cause this kind of domino effect on services to kids in other places, which you shouldn't.
And then, we have those 6 days to take. And especially since having gone through COVID, no one, I see it where people start coughing and people step back.
Yes.
And I see when someone is sick, they wear a mask.
Yeah.
But no one wants to be around anyone, especially this time of year. It's the beginning of flu season.
Especially schools are such a place for germs, right? There's so many bodies involved in that things spread quickly. And I think of other professions. I'm not saying it's easy for them to take a sick day, but it's easier without a doubt, right? You call in sick, and the work will pile up, but it will pile up in your desk, and you'll have to get to it when you return. Right. But you didn't have to get someone in to do that work for you and come up with a plan. You just called in sick.
Yes.
Well, a teacher has to plan that day now, and that is exhausting when you're feeling sick.
And then if that day goes through and you have put all the information out for your substitute teacher, then maybe if that substitute teacher has time, it might be marked. And if not, then that's left on your plate to do. And you have to go in the next day or the day when you decide to get back to work. You have to catch up.
Right.
And you have to mark. And so
what a lot of teachers do, they go, I'll just go in anyway, which isn't good. So I think teachers don't use half of the days they should use.
That's right.
And I just think back, sadly, I remember going to someone's funeral, and everyone was talking about how many sick days he had. And I didn't, look around, but I'm sure many people were thinking of the irony of that.
Yes.
That maybe he should have taken more days.
Right.
Right? He didn't maybe look after his health so much. So I've made the mistake too when I think about it. I had over 300 sick days, and I would often say that kind of like a braggy way. But maybe that's nothing to brag about. Maybe I simply should be grateful.
Right.
I didn't have to take those days.
Yes. Well, and in my case, that I had well over 280 sick days, and then I also had a problem with my hip, and I was waiting for surgery. and I was able to use my sick days to when I got a tap on the shoulder and said, okay, your surgery is going to be at this period in time, I was able to take my sick days and get ready for the surgery. Yeah. And then I had recovery from the surgery. And what a luxury for me to have that, using those sick days. Yeah. And especially for our colleagues out there who have long-term illnesses that prevent them from fully participating. They can take some of their sick days for part-time, or they can go until they are better to go back to work.
Yeah, and I find that, people often, I've heard enough teachers say this, not just people, but teachers themselves saying, well, maybe we should be bought out for our sick days, right? I had over 300. Why don't I get some money for that? And I get that at the core of it. I understand that. But that's not the purpose. It's an insurance plan.
Yes.
For if you have something down the road that maybe is more severe, well, then it's there. But you should celebrate you didn't have to take it. And I worry that, and there are industries and other areas where people do get paid out for a certain portion of their sick day. They get a little buyback to be encourage them not to take them. I don't think that's a good thing.
No.
Because already I think teachers aren't taking enough days, despite what the boards may say. And when they look at their bottom line, they're just worried about it from a monetary perspective because they know it's an expense to them. But teachers, they suck it up and they go in. And so imagine if people go, well, I might get some money for this. Well, that's it. I'm really going to just go in and spread my germs and my disease and whatever they have. But then eventually they're going to get far more sick.
Yes.
They're going to need far more days if they don't take a day or two when they need it, Yeah. And it's ironic that when we were thinking of this episode, I actually found something, believe it or not, from the Fraser Institute.
That would be the last place. That would be like if you were, down on the ground,
I know.
Injured, and it looked like the last of your life was draining out of you. You still wouldn't look at anything from the Fraser Institute.
Fraser Institute is a very right-wing organization. They publish often this ranking of schools based on the FSAs. That's why we always have been against it. So it's funny that I actually found something that I agree with from the Fraser Institute. Wow. But they are looking at this issue that, like, for example, the Toronto School District talks about the cost. I mean, it costs them sick days $200 million, but everything has a cost. You can put it on anything. What's the point of that? But this article from the Fraser Institute talks about a recent Auditor General's report that found that both students and staff, and this was specifically about the Toronto School District, do not always experience a safe learning environment. And in fact, violent incidents increased by 67% between 2017 and 2023. The report also noted that sick day use increased by 58% during that same period. So this article is actually saying maybe we should look at the symptoms. If the days that teachers are taking off have increased, well, rather than shoot the messenger and say, how do we stop that from happening? Well, yes, how do we stop that from happening and go to the core? What is causing
What is the problem?
a greater number of people taking a sick day? What is it? Is it the fact that classes are places where people don't feel safe all the time, where they're more exhausted because of the expectations? Maybe they're not able to look after their health well enough so that they can stop themselves from getting sick.
So our nugget is to get our listeners to create a ready-made TOC or substitute teacher folder that they can just have in their filing cabinet or in their desk. So you're not feeling well, and you can slap that on your desk and walk out. Or you could call your teaching buddy and say, could you go to my classroom? And in my desk, there's a yellow folder, let's say, for example, that says substitute teacher or TOC. And in that folder is the entire day.
Have a tailor-made day. Yes. And this is a bit of a do as I say, not as I do, because I think you're the same, both of us.
We've always talked about
we spent our whole career saying, I should just get a day ready to go, a ready-to-go day, so that at 3:30, if I'm feeling so sick I need to go home and crawl into bed, I can just slap that. I can just slap that down. Slop it too, right? because you're feeling that way,
Yeah,
right?
well, and I've seen teachers come in early in the morning
Yeah.
as soon as they can get into the school,
Looking gray in the face,
and
right?
they get like
Oh my gosh.
snot running from their
Right,
nose.
I know.
And they're in their room and they're coughing and they're trying to put a day plan together.
yeah.
Now I know that they were feeling sick the night before.
Yeah.
So because I know a number of teachers, they do their day plan before they leave the school.
yeah.
So it's there. But having something in the can that would work for your class is priceless. What is
Yeah.
it? Is it like that?
American Express,
American Express
right?
is priceless.
Yeah, because the problem is, I think a lot of us, we teach in a certain way. We don't teach through textbooks anymore. We don't use worksheets. So when you're away, it's kind of hard to recreate that day.
Yes.
It's kind of me having to recreate
Right.
my bike ride with you, right? It's a bit of a challenge, right? So you end up creating a day that to me is a lot more worksheet focused. So I'm spending time finding worksheets, writing things out, writing every detail out.
Yes.
It's way more work
Right.
than it really should entail. If you can come up with a day that's just already in the bag, that has an art activity, a science activity,
That's right.
it's just a go-to day. And then I think you should always add in brackets for that TOC or do something of your choice.
Yes.
Because maybe they'll come in with a skill. I had this one teacher came in. She was an amazing artist. She happened to come in during Black History Month and did this amazing mural of Martin Luther King. And it was done. It was just all the kids did a different portion of his face. It was just that's what she spent the day on. But it fit in with the curriculum. It fit in with the day. I had another teacher once came in and he was a great guitar player and they sang songs. So why not have someone bring in a skill that's different than maybe the kids get rather than have to go through all this worksheet time that you created where the kids are going, oh my God, this is not how it's normally done in here.
Yes.
Though maybe you just want to have them cheer when you come back.
Give
That's one way of doing
give
it.
them the most sort of corralled day where they don't get out of the seats, they don't do anything, and then when you come back, oh, we missed you so much,
exactly,
Mr. Snoop.
Exactly. That might be something.
Yeah.
No.
So, and I think when we talk about that folder, one of the other things is just, an information page about, who are the students that, standout students that can really support you. They know they can be trusted.
Yeah.
Right. And then where the students, the ones that you need to support a little more. And it would really help if you included any of those specialty times, like ELL times for students, and maybe when you have an EA times, when the EA comes into the classroom for support, and just have a week plan, as in, Monday to Friday, all your knit times and everything like that.
Yeah,
It's all
so
put
it's
together.
all clear. And I know a lot of people do this, but I think more and more people have kind of got away from doing this. And I think it's important to kind of go back and go reinvest in how do I make a folder together that really speaks to that TOC.
I know it's many teachers are encouraged to have a TOC folder.
Yes.
But I've been to classrooms where there was nothing.
Yeah.
And in fact, the teacher who was away was quite ill and was not able to even make it into school.
Yeah.
But sent the day plan, and the day plan went to the office assistant's computer and went into the office assistant's computer spam folder. And so I went into a classroom and there was nothing there. But as someone with experience, and I always have a bag of tricks that go into the school with. Right. And so I was able to cobble together a day, and the students really enjoyed it.
Yes.
And at 2:00, the admin assistant came to the room and said, "Oh, this was in my spam folder." And I said, "It's okay, I don't need it."
But there maybe be better to connect with a teacher who's across the hall or next door.
Yes.
Because they know you, they know your room, and sometimes it's better to email them.
Yes.
And maybe send them a text because it's probably someone you have in your list of friends on your phone. So it's a better way probably of getting that across.
Yeah.
And I think the important part of this is because I know a lot of you have the TOC folder. The important part is to create that day, that's a ready-to-go day. Because part of the nugget here is we're telling people, if you need a sick day, take that sick day. don't just put it off. Don't go in with your virus and infect other people. But it's not, our whole podcast is about looking after yourself,
Yes.
right? Teacher wellness. We have that in our byline, right? Teacher wellness is so vital. But if you're going to go in and you're already exhausted from this job and you're not feeling well, you're going to get something worse down the road.
That's right.
You got to take care of yourself.
And I can think of the times where I said, "Oh, I'm going to make it until Christmas holidays, or I'm going to make it until spring break." And there are many times when I should have taken time off, and I didn't. And then when it came to Christmas holidays, and when it came to spring break, I was wiped
It's incredible, isn't it?
for that. And my body just said, "Finally, you're
it
taking
knows
time
it's
for yourself."
Oh, good.
And I was knocked out for all of Christmas, or I was knocked out for all of spring break.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you want, when you actually get some free time to do something.
Yeah.
To be at home.
I guess
ill.
you could argue that means you just have to keep going, stay stressed your whole life.
Yes.
The problem is when you do stop, then you're going to die the next day.
That's morbid.
Yes, it's vital that teachers take their time, they use their days. We're not talking about that rare individual out there who is off skiing on his day, that we don't condone that. It's up to administration to deal with that teacher. But we often get painted with the same brush,
Yes,
right?
we do.
And that should not fall on all the other teachers who are not taking enough sick days because they're exhausted, they don't feel safe, or whatever is going on in their classroom.
What's that sound?
What's that sound? Okay, that sound is the homework board sound. We're no field trip. We got homework, and we've already kind of made it clear what we think the homework is,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And so the homework that we want our listeners to
Yes.
do is actually to do it.
Do it right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Don't press pause. Not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet,
Okay, not
because
yet.
they still have to listen to some instructions.
Okay.
They
Just
could
keep listening.
actually build their TOC folder, that day folder, while they're
You
listening.
can do it right now while you're
Right?
listening.
Teachers are very good at multitasking.
They
don't have
are.
to pause.
But if you need to pause, press pause, start planning that day that you have ready to go when you're sick, so that it's there anytime. So at 3:30 you can walk out that door and go to bed.
Yes.
Right?
And if you have one, and maybe that you've used it, then you might need to update it.
Yeah.
Maybe just look at the folder, and is there something that needs to be updated, right? As in student, so that you
Make sure it's up to
need
date.
support or something. So I would make
Because
sure
things
it's updated.
change so much in today's classroom, right?
Yes.
That's the problem. You do something in September, by November it's got to be changed. By January it's got to get continuously. You have to look at it.
That's right. Or add to it.
Yes.
Right. Wow. Wouldn't it be great to have a TLC folder with like 2 or 3 days?
Right?
In it?
That would be the ideal. Keep adding another day,
Yes.
right?
Add
And then
another day. And
you
then
don't
you know
have to
that.
stress about being away. We know how challenging it is for you. So please listen and do some work.
You can put us on pause right now and work on it.
Yes.
But make sure you listen to the end
But
of
come
the
back.
episode. Yeah.
Please hear the rest. So detention hall. The sound is back. It's been back for a couple of episodes now.
Are we using the siren again?
Yeah, the
Yes,
siren's
I
there.
like the siren.
There you go.
I like the siren.
And
So, and it should be. It sounds like,
it's
something
getting everyone's
important
attention that
is
this
gonna
person goes into the detention hall.
Okay.
So,
And
what are we doing?
For our detention hall, I think we need to put districts
Mm-hmm.
In the detention hall for making teachers feel guilty about taking sick days.
Yeah, because it kind of ebbs and flows. I've seen waves of it, and I think it's coming back where they're looking at their bottom line, and I understand they're under pressure to balance that budget, so they look at the cost of a TOC, and it adds up when people take it, and they're thinking, well, this is an area we have control over. We think we do. Let's try to convince people not to take as many.
Right.
But, right?
Yes.
The big but is, why are they taking these
Why
sick
are they taking
days?
it? Right. I mean, if you need to take more than, I believe it's 5 days, then you need to have some medical form signed by your personal physician.
Yes, yeah.
You're entitled to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, then you don't need to do that.
No.
But, I know many, many teachers who, even when it comes down to the time when they need to take a few days off for whatever reason, they're still reluctant because they're committed, they are professional, and they love teaching. And to pull them away is, or to pull themselves away is very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to have someone point a finger at you and say you've taken too many sick days when you're reluctant to take a sick day, you finally take a sick day, and then what they do is they take the boards take all the sick days that have been used, and then they average them out and say, oh, that's too many.
Yeah.
And there's every situation.
You don't know what's going on.
No,
you don't
every
know
situation
what
is
made that
different.
statistic work, right?
Yeah.
It's an average, and that's a problem with average. It doesn't mean that, say you came up with an average of the average number of days that a person takes is 10. Well, I don't know. Some took 50 that year or 100 because they had cancer.
Yes.
Some didn't take any. But you got yourself an average there. So we have to be careful with that. And I know they look at it, and they look at certain times of the year. And I remember one person saying, oh, we've noticed Black Friday, right? Black Friday, which is in November, coming up. Oh, teachers are taking a lot of time on that day. Well, they're really at home shopping? Really? No, it's November.
Yes.
You know, the flu season
flu
is beginning.
Lots of stuff is running
They're
around right now.
exhausted. They're worn down, right? That is the reason it's happening. They're looking at two unrelated statistics and coming up with a correlation that does not exist.
Yes.
And making a teacher feel guilty that somehow they're taking that day for the wrong reason.
Right.
Don't paint us all with the same brush.
That's right. So, I mean, you could say like, oh, look at this. On every full moon, the number of teachers who take time off. So it's the full moon.
Yeah, right.
Right? Or something like that. Or when these stars are aligned.
Yeah.
Right? When Venus is in the moon of Jupiter. I don't know if that's possible. So this is a number of teachers who take time off. Oh, we have to change that.
So I go back to the Fraser Institute again. Look for the symptoms, right?
Yes.
Maybe there's a school where there is an increase in the number of days. Well, go figure out what's going on at that school. Yeah. What is the situation? Maybe there's a dust problem that's causing respiratory illnesses. Maybe that's the reason. So fix that before you blame the teacher. Yes. And that is rear view mirror time.
I love rear view mirror time.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Hard to get my tongue around that. Yeah.
And we're not going to go so far in the past this time.
No, I mean, we've gone back hundreds of years.
We have. We've gone back to Greek times before in rear view mirror.
But we're just going to go, well, I guess if you're driving a car and you look and you drive a kilometer, well, there's a kilometer behind you. There
you go. So these are just from a couple years ago and some teachers talking about what it is like and the pressure on them sometimes to take a sick day.
That's right.
Right? So I found one from Paula S., and she said, if we want to take a day off, we have to rewrite lesson plans for subs, which is easily a 2-hour endeavor. It's not worth it. And I've often thought, actually, sometimes when you're away, it's almost like for every hour of teaching time, you have to spend an hour outside almost. It's sometimes up to 5 hours. I know teachers that are going in and they are doing their day plan, and they're there to 6 or 7 at night.
Yes.
Making that day together, photocopying stuff, getting everything laid out.
And someone would say, well, why do you photocopy things? Yeah. Well, not every TOC, teacher on call, substitute teacher, comes in with a code they can you want to print with.
Make it easy for them.
And you want to make it easy for them because if your day plan is organized and you have all the information about your students, you want them to take the time to read it. They want them to give them the opportunity to acclimatize themselves. Yeah. Could you imagine say, okay, I would like you to make these 5 photocopies for 27 students in my class.
No. And then they go and they're waiting at the photocopier. I mean, I've walked out there at 6 or 7 at night and looked at my day plan and looked at this organization of the next day and gone, I wish I had a day like this.
That's a problem, isn't it? You put it together and go, oh my gosh, it's all done.
Right. So what else? If looking in the rearview mirror, what else do we hear from?
This is from Aaron M.
Okay.
Teachers tend to take far less time off than other professions because it's more work for us to plan for a sub than just to go to work and teach sick. I definitely called in far more when I was in an office job than I do now that I am a teacher.
Yeah, I would imagine that's true. And then I have Crystal J. says, lately we don't have any subs available or TTOCs, so staying home means we have to split our kids up and burden our coworkers. And that often happens now where they'll pull the non-enrolling teachers,
Yes.
the ELL, English as a Language Learners, LST, the Learning Support Team, the librarians, right? And so what happens when they're pulled, then they're not delivering those services to the kids that need those services. So there's a domino effect that sometimes makes teachers feel guilty, and they should not. We need enough TOCs to do the job.
That's right. This is from Michael W. Using a sick day takes hours of preparation. We can agree on that. Upon returning to the classroom, there are hours of extra work to deal with. Dealing with what happened in your absence, dealing with the marking. It's just much easier to stay in a class and teach.
Yeah. So have that day ready to go so you can leave at 3:30, right?
Yes.
That's your homework. And then I'm going to end with Stephanie C. And oh my God, I couldn't have said it better myself. She says it well. I would rather rip out my fingernails one by one than have to make sub-plans. It's more work to be out for a day than to just power through and get it done.
Yes.
I know. It really is challenging. And that's why we want you, if you need that day, to take that day and not feel you're going to just power through.
Yes.
Like I powered through in this
Yes, you powered
episode.
through.
Despite our challenging beginning, right?
We powered through.
We powered through. We
That's
did
right.
it. And now I've got to, am I still going to make that day plan tomorrow, or am I going to just power through and show up for the cycle ride?
I would like to know
Okay.
who you're going to send in your place.
Who could I send?
Well, I mean, you do have a bit of time. It's not until 9 o'clock tomorrow,
Okay.
so you can find someone.
Everyone I know is working.
Yeah, that's a difficulty, isn't it? Yeah, and I know someone else, but they don't like bikes.
Right?
And,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
so-
And I know someone else, and they don't like you.
This podcast is organic, taking shape with each episode. Building resiliency for teachers everywhere.
That sounds great.
And our website is stuntbrothers.ca.
That's stuntbrothers.ca.
We will chat again.
After the bell.